going on is an issue of 50-50 custody. They're in separation at the moment. Hey, what's going on? Good to see you all again. We decided to bring our faces to the video again. So we're gonna just talk and have conversation about these topics. My name is Ola. This is my beautiful wife, Lola. Okay. And we are lolaandola.com. We created lolaandola.com for marriages that want to thrive, but more so marriages that want to come back from crisis. All right, so today we have how you doing, babe? Good?
I'm great.
Okay, I know you are. All right.
Why are you laughing?
Because it looks like you want to say something, but
no, I don't. You're assuming.
All right, so there's this guy, right?
Yes.
It's actually, I'm not sure if it's a guy or a girl, right?
No.
But basically the issue that's going on is an issue of 50-50 custody. They're in separation at the moment, and they have a child. 50-50 custody issue, but it seems like one person is always moving the goalpost. So the lady is complaining. I just remember now. The lady is complaining, and basically they were supposed to be sharing some kind of bills. He's lost his job in the middle of all of this, right? He basically mishandled his job, lost his job, and now she's kind of stuck, right? Also, they have 50-50 custody, so she's supposed to have the baby 50-50 weekends. You know how they arrange that kind of stuff. And now too, he's asking for more, that basically she will have the baby all the time. So they're going through this kind of issue. So there's issue of custody. They are in separation. When people are in separation,
how long in separation?
We don't know. I don't remember, at least. Right?
1.5.
Let me
2
see.
years.
Oh, 1.5 years. Thank you, babe. So 1.5 years. So so how would you advise this lady, right? Considering that people that are in separation are still kind of hopeful that they are going to come back from the separation into marriage, into a good marriage, hopefully, right? Because if they really want to leave, somebody will just file the divorce, right? So somebody is holding on to a very light string of some sort that can break at any time. But now they're having custody issues. How would you handle this, babe?
They're not only having custody issues, they're also having financial problems.
Yes.
Because
because he lost his job.
From what I saw earlier, he lost his job. Okay, he lost his job because I don't know, maybe he got depressed, but he didn't like his job. Remember that? He doesn't like his job anymore. He didn't want to do the 9 to 5.
So he was being lazy. He quit his job without actually replacing the income.
He didn't quit his job.
Oh, he lost it. He got fired for being reckless.
Because he wasn't showing up. Okay.
That's why we have my wife. She is not the help. She's my wife. Continue, babe.
Anyway, according to the story, he didn't show up for his job, and he eventually got fired.
Right.
Now this is someone that is making 85 grand a year,
and he lost that income.
And then he lost that income. Now he went to start his own business of barbecuing.
Yes.
She did say the business is nice, but the money ain't nice.
But the money is not nice.
Okay, so let's get to the real cocoa of the issue. The issue here is the money. Okay?
Money.
And then if money was not the issue when they separated, but money is now the issue after they separated, I doubt if this woman wants to even come back. She's saying, how do I handle someone who even show up with their own side of the income? Right. Is not showing up.
So it's 50-50 income, also 50-50 custody.
emotionally for their child? Like, how do I handle someone that is just, not responsible at the moment?
This is the question.
So that's the question. And because they've not been they're not divorced, they're separated, right? I don't know if she can pursue a custody battle. Like, I don't know if this custody situation is court organized.
Right. What if it's court organized?
Then he won't be playing with taking care of the child. He will do what he has to do. Yes, they will mandate that he gets a job.
But she will have to go to the court and complain, isn't it? Isn't that extra effort? I mean, you go to the court hoping...
I don't think you have to go to the court and complain. No, I think the court is... the court gets the money.
Are they monitoring them 24/7? They're not monitoring them 24/7. It's a joint custody, which means there's probably no support issues there. There's probably no money exchanging hand. They're just taking care of the baby.
Okay,
right?
so...
At least we don't know that part, right?
Yeah, we don't know that
so
part.
the issue with the court being involved is, for a lot of time, it really doesn't matter. Because for you to complain to court, you have to now get off your butt, which people don't have time to go into court. That the last thing you want is to have to go to the court. If the court has given some order, you want them to follow. If they don't follow it become extra headache still, even though it's
so what do you do? Because the easiest way for you to get a parent that is not doing their part, that you are apart and you have children in this marriage, the only way you can get them to contribute is go through the legal way, the legal system, which is the court.
Yes. Well, it's not the only way, and it's not the most efficient way, in my opinion. Okay. It's the enforceable way. Yes.
Oh, it's the enforceable way.
Yes.
The kid gets taken care of.
Not necessarily either. This is
financially.
Well, financially, yes.
Financially, it takes the load, and let's not forget, the woman herself has always been a part-timer, which means she probably I'm assuming, I don't know, she sacrificed most of, maybe she never had a career, or she had a part-time kind of career that is not paying that well. So that means they were dependent on his income, right? And now he doesn't have that income. And barbecue is not... I'm sorry. The guy has a dream, right? And everyone should chase their dream. But when it comes to your children, come on, let's not forget that while we're chasing our dreams.
Yeah, because the baby didn't ask to be here.
The child did not ask to be here. So we have to do what we have to do to make sure the child is taken care of.
So before I dive into this, right? First of all, let me do this on camera. You know I love you, babe. You can look at that time and also look at it with me, right? Okay. So that when we start to design the time for this thing later on, it's not just me talking out of my butt, right? It's both of us looking at the time, right?
Do you want me to be the timekeeper?
You could do that too.
Okay, yeah, I will gladly be that.
So now, so with that being said, this video is not going to be no 7 minutes.
Oh my God.
Yeah. All right, good. So thank you for reminding me a lot of the points with this particular issue. It's a little bit difficult, right? My thing is this. I think court, lawyers, CPAs, medical doctors can be full of it. All these professionals, all of them, right? The only thing that really fixes issues ultimately is people learning how to communicate in a relationship. It's people learning how the human brain works. Because if the moment you get into the court system, the idea is that you guys could not figure that out. So we're going to enforce, right? Enforcing that situation is not always the best scenario for the kids.
It's not the best, but this is my way of thinking. Do you know how many single mothers or even fathers are out there with no support?
So let me acknowledge.
There's so many out there.
We always say this in the beginning. Anything we say is going to be easier said than done. Right? It's going to feel easier to just run to the court.
I mean, I don't feel like people purposely want to go to court.
No, I know.
But they have no choice. If they're struggling and they really need that cash.
They have no choices because they don't know better.
Okay.
You understand what I'm saying? And also, what I will be suggesting can feel difficult, can actually be difficult in the beginning. But the reward later on is greater than using shortcut systems like court. I know somebody's going to be like, no, court is not shortcut either. don't take me out of context. No, it's not either. What I'm saying is that in the long run, the grand scheme of things, right? When you go to the court and you call the court on family matters, right? You're forcing their hands to treat you like animals that couldn't handle each other. Rightfully so. You understand what I'm saying? So I'm not saying if nothing works, right? Absolutely, you have to use the systems at your disposal. You have to leverage the court system. You have to. But a lot of people that I notice also take their issues to court have not tried. They have
I don't agree.
Wait, and that's okay. You know, so when I say they have not tried, I'm being very careful here. It's very easy to take it out of context. It doesn't mean they haven't put in effort or try to talk to the other person. But again, how are you doing that? What skills are involved? Are you just talking? Are you just communicating? You know, the communicating that people say, which is just talking. Hear me, I hear you too. There's no skills involved. There's no skills.
Well, I will tell you one thing, okay? Yeah. For people that are separated on their way to divorce, they're not communicating. There's no way they will be communicating because there are emotional issues involved. They probably ate each other's guts. They're trying to be cordial for the kids, and they're not trying to, be nice.
And to support that point, they're usually conflicted on what they want. Do you want this marriage or you don't want this marriage?
It's a state of confusion, I have to tell you, because it's not easy. I don't think people get married to be divorced. So it can be a state of confusion for people. And people need to understand that. Like sometimes when people say they want a divorce, it doesn't necessarily mean that they want a divorce. They probably want a break. They probably want to be able to step away and reflect a little bit.
Granted, all of that granted.
So it's not an attack on the other person.
You said one thing. You said nobody wants to get into it to be divorced, right? Granted. You also, what's the last thing you just said right now?
Sometimes they just want to break.
It's also very accurate. You just want to break.
Reflect. Like breathe.
There's a reason why they got there in the first place.
Why?
It's not a crime. Right?
That is my
You just don't know what you don't know.
But when people are fighting, it's like a crime. You get?
Right.
They fight each other like
their brain is in a place where they think the other person is trying to hurt them.
Yes, like this person mapped it out. You can't tell me nothing. This person is a narcissist. They plant this shit and they came for me and destroyed my life. Right. This is how people think. Right. And when people can't change that way of thinking,
thank you for not banging the baby thing.
Things can't get resolved if you can't think differently and say, look, we were once in love. And of course it's very hard. And that's why I'm saying sometimes if you have, for example, this woman, assuming she has 4 kids on a part-time job, and this dude just left his job and said he wants to be barbecuing. If you were this woman barbecuing,
are you saying you will go to the courts?
I will try my best because the type of person I am, I don't believe in just running to the court right away. I will try my best. Right. But if I have a guy that I know that is just not listening, okay, I have to start thinking of the best interest of my kids. And yes, people will call you all kind of names, but you need to take care of business sometimes. You have to do what's best for your kids, at least financially.
So what's best for your kids? That's another thing that people say a lot, and you just said it. What's best for your kids is not always the simplest thing to determine.
Right.
Sometimes doing for that spouse is what's best for your kids, but it takes deeper
But that's
thinking.
not your spouse anymore.
No. I said something earlier, right? When people are in separation, these are people that somebody is still holding on to something.
Right.
Because if $300, $400, if they really need to run, they would have figured that out, paid, and get it divorced. Now, separated, we're about to divorce. That's different from separated, right? Now it's been 2 years. They've been lingering in separation. So they're holding on to something, right? So I'm not being hopeful for them. I'm just saying they're holding on to something. You understand what I'm saying? So if they're holding on to something, part of the confusion is that, do you want this marriage or you don't want this marriage? Now, it's a different solution altogether if you don't want this marriage, right? If you don't want the marriage, your separation on your way out to divorce, use the court systems and be nice about it. Say, it's just too much work for me. I'd rather use the court system. How you communicate that is big deal.
They have mediators After court.
No, you know how
use-
somebody came and knocked on the door, want to carry the baby and say, you called the court on me? How do you communicate? You still need to learn how to communicate in all of that. Right?
Let me tell you something, okay?
Right.
Psychology is very interesting. But I do believe that there are some human beings, oh my God,
That you have to use the
that
police
you
for.
have to use enforcement for.
I'm not arguing that. I'm not
If
arguing
not,
that.
you will suffer. The kids will suffer.
This
You
is
would not
interesting.
do
This is
ish.
interesting because for the people who follow the red pill community, it's very interesting for them to see this dynamic. The truth is that women are hypergamous in nature, and if they're in a space where they feel like they don't feel safe, they will protect themselves with everything in their power, their mouth, the court systems, anything that comes their way. And I'm glad you're showing us that it's not just them, it's across board, it's everywhere, and that's fine.
There
It's
are
the
men
nature.
taking women to court.
No,
so I don't
but
even know if we can just focus on women here.
And I'm not, and the point there is not even if one does it other than the other. I think it's generally no, that the women go to the court first.
I mean, it's popularly
Right?
known, yes.
Right. So, but that's not even the main issue. The main issue here is twofold, right? It's twofold. I want people to understand that going to the court may feel like a shortcut to getting that person corrected, but time and time again it's been proven that it's not necessarily the way to go. It's the for sure way for you to get what you want in the short term, in the long term, not necessarily. And it's not always what's best for the kids.
Well, I can tell you one thing.
Sorry, baby, let me say this one thing. Collecting $200 from a guy every month for your kid, it's not always the best thing for the kid.
It might
Do you
not
agree
be
on
too
that?
hard.
You don't agree with that?
No.
Let's say it's
$200
$20,000.
is not what it takes.
Let's say it's $200,000.
to take care of a kid. By the way,
Let's say it's a Dr.
kids
Dre
are
issue.
very expensive, especially in the
Let's say
United
it's a
States.
Dr. Dre issue, $300,000 a month. Collecting $300,000 from that guy for your son every month. It's not always what's best for your son in the long run. In the short term, yes, I can see why that feels like it's a good thing.
But why is it not best for your son?
Because it's just money. Because it's just money. And money is useless by itself. It's a tool.
I understand that.
Yes.
So are you saying that because the mother is now collecting $300,000 from the, like Dr. Dre, for example, he won't have a relationship
that one's an
with his son?
alimony, I think. But I'm just saying,
wait.
let's say it's child support, right? Let's just pretend that's a child support,
Yeah.
right? So if you collect that money and you collect it and you have your son, that's not always what's best for your child in the long run.
I get that, but a woman collecting what is her due, what she's owed, does not stop the man from having a relationship
No, it's not about
with
the man.
children.
It's about what I'm saying.
The problem is that the man gets all butt hot and decide to be vindictive and say, okay, just keep your child. And then
that's a different topic. I don't address people that are not complaining. In this situation, the man is not complaining. So we don't know the story of the man. What we know is the story of the woman, right?
The woman is owed money. She wants her money for her child.
It's okay.
Her life
So
is
we're talking about it.
What?
Right?
From 85 grand to nothing. To barbecue money.
Listen, what I'm saying is very, very simple.
Maybe this is the reason why they are where they are. Because he happens to be a guy. I don't know this guy, so I don't even want to judge him or anything.
What's your
But I'm
solution
saying,
for her?
Well, like I said,
Yeah.
if she
Your
wants
solution
to
is
go
not
the legal
he's
way,
a narcissist. That's not your solution.
that's not my. I don't think he's a narcissist.
We don't know.
I
We just
feel
don't
like
know,
he's
right?
probably a guy that's struggling with his responsibilities.
Yes.
He wants to follow his dream. He's
Right.
confused,
Right.
and he's doing what he feels like he needs to do. But she needs to find a way to have a proper conversation
So
with
a
him.
guy who is chasing his dream and is lost focus. He tried to start a barbecue that's not generating money, right? It's funny, but it's not, right?
It's not funny because eventually it
Right.
might be a big deal, right?
Yes.
But in the moment,
and it may be an acrimony.
he's
You know the acrimony movie.
Yes.
It may be an acrimony situation, and this is what women need to understand. And that's why I think this conversation. That's why I let it ride.
What do we need to understand?
It's an acrimony. It could be an acrimony situation.
Okay.
So you going? There are two things.
So you're saying this woman should be suffering and
That's not
smiling
what
and
I'm
taking
saying.
care of her kid by herself.
No.
This guy is
That's
not,
the extreme other
this
end.
guy is not even showing up to come and pick up the kid. So how is he even helping? So assuming it comes, you know, sometimes women, we actually have, a lot of women have empathy. You guys
But
don't,
a lot
let
of
me
the
tell you
empathy,
something.
a lot of the
Women-
empathy is misguided too.
Wait.
It's not empathy that I'm
If
asking
you
for.
find
You didn't let
women-
me say
If
what
you
I'm
find
asking for.
women,
Well, go ahead, babe.
if you find women that are in court and they're saying they are cutthroat, it's because they've been scorned. And they've tried their best.
You've been
and they
scorned.
can't do, and they know that this person is not listening to them, and they have no other way. That's why.
Can I say something?
Most women will take men to court, and the next minute they will drop the case. How many stories do I know that women do that all the time?
So you go when everything is. I haven't heard your solution, but yeah, that's okay. But you go from one extreme.
You don't like my solution.
No. You haven't given me the solution.
I said.
You said what?
I said the legal way.
I said it's a short term.
When you say legal way, people want to attack the legal way like, oh, the woman is a demon. She just wants to destroy his life.
No, that's not what I'm saying either.
We want money for this kid.
What I'm saying is that the shortcut, like the court system, is a shortcut, nice short-term solution.
But it works. Okay? You don't think the court
works? In the short term, yes. Okay. But the court does not help you with your relationships.
I don't think she wants to have a relationship with this guy.
But
especially in this barbecue situation.
Okay, let me say this way.
She's not feeling secured at this point.
But when you have a child with a person, you don't get to choose if you're in a relationship with them or not. You have a relationship with them for the rest of the life of all three of you. It may not be a husband and wife situation. I'm just telling you right now. This is not a situation of I want to shame somebody. Okay, for a fact of life, when you have a baby,
you can't shame
a child with a person, right? You are effectively in a relationship with them for the rest of the life of all three of you.
And I understand that, but I've seen so many single women suffer.
Okay, good.
A lot of women
that's not good, by the way. But let me. But my point is that, granted, I hear that, okay? And you said something earlier, I didn't get to address it. You said a scorned. Like a
scorned woman.
A scorned woman. Mm-hmm. A woman that all these things are all legitimate excuses, by the way. Okay? But they're excuses enough to make you suffer even further. Because again, you're not taking care of the main driving force of your suffering, the relationship.
So how would you what would you propose?
Let me finish.
Okay, because
right.
women, I got your back. Because this man,
you running from a relationship or a marriage does not solve your suffering. Okay, because it's like running from your shadow.
But how do you know again. She's the one that ran from the relationship? It could have been the guy.
No. I'm saying that to everyone across board.
Okay, right? Same men and women.
Let's run to the courts because we don't care about this relationship anymore. It does not work in the long term. It can work in short-term solutions. You want to collect money from him? Sure. You want to collect alimony? Sure. You want to treat him a lesson right now? Sure. Short term.
See that, and that's the issue I have when it comes to men. When a woman is going through, all the struggles, and she cannot talk to you, you're not listening, and then she decides to go the legal way to get things done the proper way, even just to be fair, because court is being fair, to be honest.
Court is being fair?
Yeah.
What do you mean fair? What do you mean by fair?
They look at your income, they look at the woman's income, they say, okay, dude,
leave the table,
you make more money, you pay more. Or if it's the woman, they say, you know what, you pay a little bit, and they always look at those things. But men think that, oh no, she just want to destroy my life. She hates me. All the time she's trying to contact you, that you're breaking your child's heart. Yeah. You're supposed to pick her up. You're not picking her up. Do you think the girl is forgetting? No.
All right.
The child remembers all those things. And this is why people have issues in their relationship with their children.
I think the main important point in all of this, we don't know the full-blown story behind the scenes. The one thing we should pay attention to here is the first thing I said, right? Which is doing what you may consider doing the right thing for your baby, your child, may not be the right thing for them in the long term. So you really want to really think that through properly.
I'm sure they will think it. Very, very think it through, to be honest, because you don't want to regret your actions too.
Then yes. So if anything at all, what I'm hearing is that there is a relationship still, even though you actually may be in separation on your way to a marriage. There is still a relationship because of a child. So that relationship still needs to be nurtured and taken care of. How is that going to happen? Humility is going to be involved in that, right? Tolerance is going to be involved in that. Like in any other relationship. Like just because you run out of a marriage, I didn't mean it that way, right? I mean it as in like just because you've chosen that it's not working for me, I'm going to leave, right? That's fine, by the way. But it doesn't excuse you from the responsibility of humility and tolerance in that relationship because of that child. So what I would suggest is that, yes, you can simultaneously use the court at the same time.
Don't be scared.
Yeah, you can simultaneously use the court at the same time. Yes, you should leverage the court if a person is not hearing what you have to say. But you should also communicate like, I will try my best to communicate and work it out with you, but if something is out of my, just understand I will have to use the court to help us through that. That's normal stuff,
because
right?
do you know how many deadbeat fathers or mothers that are wearing Versace, wearing Gucci, wearing all this stuff, but they are not taking care of their child? It's because of situations like this that people are frustrated and saying, you know what? I don't care what you go through. I need my child to be taken care of.
I am willing to bet that most of the people at the family courthouse in New Brunswick right now are not wearing Versace. They are just people that have never taken the proper amount of effort in learning how to communicate.
They're not.
They haven't. Yes, we see some of those on Love and Hip Hop. I get it, right?
Only that. What about Maury? What about what's that?
But they're on TV.
One?
My point is that
they're on TV
my
for
point
the
is
most part.
my point is that those are on TV.
I know a few ones too.
Majority of people at the court system right now.
No, I know a few ones. There are fathers that have never bought diapers for their kids. Come on.
But my advice to the young lady, my last advice is gonna be to talk to therapy first. And then make sure you make the most advantage personal therapy, individualized, and then talk about it before you approach the courts. Because once you involve the courts, it's gonna be a short-term solution, but it's not guaranteed to be a long-term solution because you still have to be in a relationship with that person, and then you have to be clear if you want the marriage or you don't want the marriage as soon as you can. I know it's not easy, right? But just be clear about that because if you're conflicting, if you want the marriage or not, if you're conflicting that like let's say you're still sleeping with this person, that's going to complicate things.
I don't think that's
and people do that. But people do that.
But in this case, I don't even think so.
Okay.
I don't think so. My own advice to the lady is do what works for you the most.
What is that? Why would they come here if they just
No, look at your options. See, what do you want? What do you want for yourself? What do you want for your child? What do you want with, of course, the relationship with your ex? What do you want that to be like?
So let me ask you a question.
If you can go to counseling, go to counseling. See a mediator. I'm not banging it, so leave my hand alone. Go to a mediator. Let them help you. Don't be scared to actually find out. Do the best you can. Don't be scared. Right. Don't be scared because at the end of the day, you don't want to be suffering.
Scared of what?
Forget about you suffering. Your child, you don't want your child to be suffering.
What I'm saying is that
one day could be getting the best life.
Is that there are lots of children collecting adequate child support and suffering.
Oh, okay. So you're saying that maybe the mothers are using the money for themselves.
There are more than enough people saying what you're saying.
Are you saying the mothers are using the money for themselves?
Not at all. Let me be clear. There are more than enough people giving the advice you're giving. Okay, what I'm about to give, nobody's giving it. Okay?
Well, look, maybe I'm giving advice because I know what it feels like to be a woman.
Wait.
You don't.
Wait, but that's not what this is about, right? You came to lolanola.com so you can get kind of like both sides of the coin. You've got to one side.
I didn't finish my point though.
Go ahead, baby. Finish.
My other point is if you go to court, don't expect that it's going to be cuddly, sweet with you.
No, it's not.
It's going to be cutthroat. It's probably going to be a jackass.
It's not going to be a fast.
Things are going to be tough for a
You're talking about you're talking about the other person.
Yes.
The other person is the least of the issue. That's the least of the issue. That's the least of the issue. Of course, he's going to be pissed off and treat you accordingly if you take him to court. That's the least of the issue. That's to be expected if you take a person to court, right? And it's not a matter of right and wrong. It's just what it is, right? What I'm talking about is the counting on the court to make you're not going to be happy after they start collecting child support for you. It doesn't work like that. There is more work to be done.
We know that.
No, you don't.
What do you mean I don't?
Because they don't say. People don't talk about that. They only talk about just taking to court.
That's not going to make her happy. We're talking about child being taken care of.
I didn't say happy.
We're talking about child being a child being taken care of here, and you are mixing it with emotional issues.
No.
This is a financial problem.
I'm not mixing it with emotional issues. It is emotional at its core. And you can avoid reality all you want. You cannot avoid the consequences of avoiding reality.
I agree with that.
Okay? This issue is purely emotional. If it wasn't emotional, it would be in a criminal court. You know where it's going? It's going to a family court because they understand it's emotional issues that's going to be mixed up. That's why they have police at the door all the time, because people will slap each other and people will fight and bicker. They will fight in front of the kids. The kids will be exchanged in the hallways of the court.
So
it gets very, very nasty.
What are you now saying that this person should she raise a child by herself? Is that what you're insinuating?
No. The first thing is to engage therapy personally.
Okay.
I said that.
And therapists,
because there's
therapists, they will listen to all you have to say, and they will hold you accountable. In fact, a therapist might be the first one to say, why haven't you approached the legal system?
You need to engage a therapy, a counselor, or a coach. And you need to actively do it, and you let down your guards. Humility must be involved. Yes, obviously you're tolerating a lot already. I'm not taking away from that.
So how are you supposed to be humble when you're hungry?
Listen, the food that the baby is going to eat today, God will provide.
Yes,
and like I said, let me finish that point, baby. Like I said, if I don't collect this audio because the thing phrase got too long, it's your fault. But anyway, let me say this.
It's always the woman's fault.
The food that the baby is going to eat, God will provide. That's no more. But remember what I said. It's okay to engage the court if it comes down to that. I just want you to realize that it's a short-term solution. You're still in a relationship with this person
forever,
and that work has to be done. If it's not done, it will create even more suffering, because remember, the fact that you involve the court is going to become additional resentment.
It will be. It's going to hit your guts.
So you're not going to avoid this work.
So you're going to have to choose your battles.
But here's the good news. If you go through this work and you do the actual work, engage a counselor, a coach, or a therapy, if you do the work, the reward is great on the other side.
I agree.
It's great.
But you're going to have to be patient. You have to preach that to people. You cannot tell people that, oh no, if you go to, you have to, patience is required. And it's infinite patience that will build you. So you have to be ready to do the work and to do a lot of sacrifices if you're not going to go the legal way.
So I'm not discouraging court at all. I just think people count on the court. Ladies think they can count on the court, and that's going to set them free.
Ladies have been pushed. Ladies have been pushed to approach the court. They do it because they have no choice. Ladies. For the most part.
The idea that
most ladies, maybe not all.
No. You think you're guessing everything I'm about to say. Ladies, let me just tell you this. One big issue is that you think that every time you did something wrong, you were pushed. There's no taking responsibility and accountability at all.
Seriously?
Listen, the idea that if I did something wrong, I was pushed. Keep in mind that the gentleman can say the same thing, and that's what creates chaos.
No, baby,
that's what creates chaos.
You're missing the point.
Just keep that in mind.
My point is, before a lady goes to the court, she has tried everything. Everything. At least I'm speaking for most women.
Right.
I don't know about all women.
Here's the point.
But most
They've tried everything.
They've tried everything in their power, and at that point when they go to the court, they just care. They don't know what to do anymore. So I don't want
Would you agree with this?
I don't want us to be victim shaming or blaming anybody.
Would you agree with this?
People have the right to do whatever makes them.
I'm glad that this conversation went this way. We may end up just using the audio because this one will freeze when it's too long.
Oh, okay.
Let me just say that I'm glad that we had this conversation. Here's why I'm glad, okay? Because again, there are a couple of things that came up. You just came up with shaming, right?
I'm just saying.
And here's the problem. There's a big division going on between men and women. Of this generation, the modern women and modern men. Okay, a lot of it is attached to men having a difficult time rising up to a new level of leadership skills, right? Because women have risen up to a level of masculinity that wasn't the norm before. So, and all of it is because they were also. She just did it again.
I'm asking.
Wait, let me finish.
It's a
Don't let me
question.
derail it with that. Don't let me
Were
derail
they
it. Let me
forced
finish.
to?
Let me finish. Let me finish. Let me finish that point I was
Were
making.
they born masculine?
Let me let me finish.
I'm sorry.
Let me finish. She doesn't even know how to be masculine. You don't even know how to be
I'm being
masculine.
silly, but I'm
Anyway,
just saying.
anyway,
were
but-
they forced to? Is this
Listen,
something that just happened out of the blue?
What I'm saying is that every effort to solve this issue that's going on, the division that's going on, will be highly appreciated and will be highly helpful. I am of the opinion that men need to rise up to the new level of skill, leadership skill set.
I agree with you.
Right? But here's the thing. It's extremely difficult for them because many of them are raised by women. And they
And
were
I agree
raised
with you.
and they were raised to tap into their extra emotion, and many of them are in their feminine mode
Yes,
right now,
they are.
and they will fight you in the same court system, and they will fight you with everything. They will get even more
pettier.
feminine than you
Oh,
are.
yeah, I know
okay?
that.
So
I
guess
know
who
that.
wins from all of that? When the family feuds, guess who wins?
Who wins? Nobody.
When the family feuds, nobody wins, right?
Yeah, I know.
Okay, all right, good. So I think all of us should start to really have the conversation at a deeper level. I agree with
I
you.
don't understand the battle of the sexes. I really don't.
But you will, because you're in this space, right? I agree with you that a man should lead, right? If a woman is acting up, it's because a woman did something. She was pushed to that. That rhetoric is getting weakened by the day.
So you guys don't like.
Not you guys, not me.
Because you are speaking right now. So
I'm
so
speaking.
men
I'm
don't
speaking
like,
right now.
So
Yes.
men don't want women to get away with anything.
No.
They want to hold them accountable to every little thing.
No, what I'm telling you is that the men that you have available to you today, some of them are already married to you, by the way. Okay, so it's not just a matter of the one you're about to marry. No, some of them are already married to you with 2-3 kids, and you're having problems, and you're arguing with little petty stuff on every little petty stuff, and you're wondering how come he can't let that go, because it's in his feminine. It's that generation. Unfortunately, it's sad, but it's true, right? So if a woman can recognize that, right, and pull back and stop saying you made me F that shit up, right? Maybe you were like, okay, I'm okay with the idea that she's taken accountable. Let me go in 3x deeper and be the man for my lady. Maybe, just maybe, right?
Or not. Because the men we have now are extremely sensitive. I am sorry to say, but not sorry at the same time. They're extremely
That's the point I just made. The point I just made is that when you have women thinking they can use the court systems to raise a boy, you raise feminine boys. It's not right and wrong. It's just what it is. Just understand what you should expect. So if you marry one of these boys, don't be surprised if he gets petty with you.
So because
Don't be
a
that surprised.
woman had to, she was like, okay, I won't use, she was forced. She had no choice.
It's like a default.
Our
You
last choice.
don't even know you say it.
Let me
I know
not
you don't
say
even know
that.
you say it.
Our last choice is to run to the court and say, please, even if it's 200, get it for my son because he needs extra things for school.
Well,
so now you're saying, is that an excuse for the man not to show up as a man or to have a relationship with his child?
No.
Is that a reason for him to neglect his children because the mother of his children has taken him to court?
It's a matter of, I'll answer your question. It's a matter of, to every action, there's a reaction.
I agree.
Okay. So every action is, in fact, what I'm seeing right now is actually a reaction. So just like, because that's what you're saying. Just when I did
asking.
that. No, I'm asking the question. When I did, I'm a woman. When I did that, it's because I'm reacting to what you did. That's what you were saying earlier.
No. I went to court.
When you say you pushed me to do something.
No.
That's what that means.
I didn't use. I said I didn't have a choice now. Okay, we got all those kids.
No, I'm getting there.
And you bounced out, and you're not supporting me in any way.
There's
And
something I haven't
money.
said so far.
I moved to the court and I said I need money from my ex-husband.
I am so glad this conversation went this long. There's something I haven't said. Okay, are you going to take responsibility for attracting this kind of man at all? Or we just gonna pretend that this fell into my world randomly.
Well,
Right.
like most people say these days, is a narcissist. So I think people really feel like this person fell into their lives.
What is it about you that attracts a narcissist? We're not saying that so we can blame you, so we can know not to attract narcissists in the nearest future, right? That would be the ideal thing, right? So the idea of pointing fingers is a short-term solution, always.
Yeah, but I feel
Always.
like you're also putting women in the leadership role again, all over.
And I don't
again.
disagree with that.
At what point do men step up and say, "Let me do the needful"?
I don't disagree with that. I don't disagree with that at all, right? But that's the sad reality of where we are, and that's what I'm trying to tell you.
Yeah, it's chaotic.
That I hate to be saying this. I actually don't like it. I feel like I'm pandering to men right now. That's the last thing I want to do. As a matter of fact, what I want to do is hold them by the hair and drag them, right? Because if you're a man and you're asking for leadership, in that same breath, you want somebody to take responsibility for all the emotional energy. You have to take responsibility for that at some point, right? I get that. What I'm saying is that women raised a bunch of these men.
I agree with you.
So now that women have raised a bunch of these men, they still have their very essence is still going to be in the space of masculine, right? However, while we're working on that, right, I think it would be helpful for a woman to understand what is going on. Anytime you say they made me do it, right? Anytime you do that, but in that same breath you want to correct him on how to do the math, on how to pay the bills, meaning you're in your masculine, right? This is problematic. It's everywhere. It's all over the place. Okay. So what I'm saying is awareness, right? So if you go to the court system, this is one of the things that's pissing off the men. Because it actually
They
works
see it
against
as
them.
an attack.
Right. So when you go towards that without any form of visible evidence that you've actually tried to seduce him as a woman, like use your, but you did in the beginning. You had a baby for him, right? So you did something right. The problem is that
maybe there was a veil covered.
There is a veil. So now there is a veil, and you're not willing to do the work to say, what is it that created the veil in the first place? Okay, I know now. Now we've ate the red pill. We know what is going on. But there is still a skill set involved where you can seduce a man that you love. Not just seducing him to bed, even seducing him to taking care of his children. There is a skill set to that. Seducing him to listen to what you have to say at every layer of interaction in that relationship.
So how would that work? Because to be honest, I know a good number of people, good women,
right,
actually make.
Oh, by the way, all of them are good, including the men.
Make women like they're like these two men. They don't even raise, like you said. What is it about that person that attracted you to the person?
Yes.
That's one thing I can hold them accountable for. But some of these women are they're not problematic, like they're not masculine, but they got taken advantage of.
What do you mean by masculine? Let's understand what masculine is.
The men cheated on them.
It's not possible. It's not possible.
Cheated
Let's talk about masculine and femininity in the first place, right? It's not possible that you're not masculine if you don't feel protected. You are masculine because you're trying to protect yourself. Masculine and feminine are not good or bad. They are not right and wrong. They are basically energy. Okay.
Yeah, but
one is receiving, one is giving.
I don't want to use the word forced again because.
No, say it. Then
I'll like that word. But if you feel like someone is not protecting you, if you've been
so
forced
naturally
to
you protect yourself,
your masculine will come out because you do what you gotta do.
But here's what you should be aware of: when you have too masculine energy and they're all misplaced, that's chaos.
I understand that.
Okay,
too.
so you just be aware of that. It's not that you're a bad person. It's not that he's a bad person. It's none of that at all. It's not relevant, as a matter of fact. Yes, the behaviors that will be showing are bad, right? Bad feelings and all this stuff, right? Yes, I agree. But when we start to look at it as bad, or somebody's out to get me, or he's just doing that, then naturally you feel like an attack. Somebody attacked you, right? And then you want to defend. But if you see it as what it is, just the awareness that, okay, I don't feel safe. I don't feel safe. Let's start with, I don't feel safe around you. What do you mean you don't feel safe? I just don't feel safe around you. I feel like I'm attacked all the time. Learning how to talk. That's part of seduction. Learning how to. These are
Yeah,
some of the things you learn
look,
in counseling, in
there are
therapy, or in
some
coaching.
men
Right. No, wait.
cannot be seduced.
We don't do that, baby. You know why we don't do that? Because we're telling these people, and many of them have not tried what I'm saying. We're not going to tell them the reasons why it won't work. We're going to tell them to try it first. If it doesn't work, there's additional measures.
I'm trying to ask you a question.
Please
because
go.
there's some men that are deadbeat men.
Most men that I know
wait for women to take care of them.
Well, most men that I know are not deadbeat, and many of them are dealing with issues in marriages, in relationships with women, right? It has nothing to do with the extreme, the anomalies. I don't want to call them, there are certain places you go to where you see a lot of deadbeats. But for me, what I am surrounded by, many of them are still dealing with some of these issues, gone through divorce or about to divorce, stuff like that. They're good guys. The ladies are good ladies too. It has nothing to do with that.
I'm sure, but I feel like sometimes people, like a man can say, oh, I want to go get a woman that owns her own. You want a woman that owns her own, that have her own businesses, that want to build an empire. Boy, you want her to be a slave in the kitchen as well and be available to everything. These are one of the issues that are really going on out there.
We could talk about that on another video entirely.
Okay.
Right? But the point I'm making here is that thinking of marriage and relationships as right and wrong is where we go wrong. When you go into the court system, they will be forced to treat it as right and wrong for you.
Sure.
Right? So if they treat it as right and wrong, then it becomes, oh, you got me, I need to get you back, right? So sometimes maybe the court really got him, right? But then he's using other ways by just being evil or mean to you. Even his face when he sees you, and that affects your soul. You can't pretend like that doesn't affect. Even if you've taken him to court and you got all the money you want, or he actually, like I was looking at on the shade room, this guy, the future, telling the kid like your mama is a B. Sent a text to his own child.
Okay, so if you have future as a husband, for example, that's a typical example.
Listen, I don't want to stretch future, but let me help you where you're going with that. Okay, when you have a future who is the mentor of many of these young men, okay, I'm so sad, right? But he's having children everywhere, right? He just got taken to court. He has resentment in his head and he's pissed off that somebody just extracted 30 grand for doing nothing. In his head, he thinks for doing nothing, right? In his head, that's how he feels, right? Because again, for me, if I had a baby out of wedlock, right, and somebody took me to court and that's what they decided to do, it's not what they did, it's how I reacted to that makes all the difference.
They probably took you to court because you were not showing up.
The only thing I have to take responsibility for is how I reacted to that. I don't worry about if they made me do it. That's what women do. I understand why women do that. I get it, okay? It's the nature of a woman. But
no. And there's a lot of women that have been raising kids on their own.
You're missing the point.
If
you're raising a kid on your own.
That the man just went out.
If you're raising a kid on your own, right? If you're raising a kid on your own.
And they never took them to court.
All right. Can I say something?
Please do.
If you're raising a kid on your own, it is not your fault. However, pointing fingers is not going to help you either. Okay? How you react to that situation is the holy grail. Okay? If you react to it as it is somebody else's fault that made me do this, nothing good is going to come out of it. I promise you, I guarantee you. Now, you could say it may make you feel good in the short term. Yeah, he's just a deadbeat. Yeah, he's just narcissist. You could call names if you want, right? It make you feel good. In the long run, the actual solution in the long run will run, right? It's what we need to be talking about. If you don't talk about that, it is suffering upon suffering upon suffering. The majority of that suffering is emotional in nature. And guess what? You could collect all the child support you want for your child. Your child is still going to suffer too. So we need to have more conversations about this kind of stuff, right? We could have stopped at 10 minutes by saying take it to court.
I think it's deeper than what it is on the surface.
No, we could have stopped at 5 minutes and said just take them to court.
No, we couldn't have stopped that.
Would that have been a solution? A solution?
I don't want to bash people who take
That's not
people to
bashing.
court.
Telling them what
Because
it is. It's not
like,
telling them the reality of what it is. It's
I
not
feel
bashing.
like people,
Tell them what it is in reality.
I already said the reality before. What I'm trying to say is that people have different scenarios, and there are reasons why people go to the court. Okay. Especially women. Yeah. And I hate to use the word first, but I feel like it's their last resort. I feel like they've tried everything.
Listen.
We can only encourage them to do more, try something different.
Let me ask you a question. Why do you keep saying that when I already told you that you can actually concurrently work on a court if it gets to that, if it becomes like you're hungry, if last resort I should call it, and you can still seek therapy or counseling or coaching.
You can do that.
Simultaneously.
I agree with
so why you keep saying that? I want to dig into why you keep saying that.
Because you're saying that women feel like they are forced, that they use that language.
They do.
And I'm trying to explain the reason why it feels like the reason why they say that is not because they haven't tried everything.
No, the reason why they say that is because everybody's action can be claimed to be a reaction. And that's okay.
So you just think that someone just run to court right away to take somebody to
I just said
they get offended.
No, I just noticed that you didn't listen to what I said.
I heard you.
What did I say?
I don't remember.
Exactly. Everybody's action
is a reaction.
Maybe not, but can be claimed to be a reaction. But everybody must be responsible for their reactions because it is your action. I understand that it is not necessarily in the nature of a woman to do that.
That's all I'm trying to say. That women are not running around taking men to court anyhow.
Well, I hate to say this like this. It almost seems like I'm bashing the men right now. A lot of men are in their feminine. In other words, they can play that game with you too. Okay, they'll play tit for tat. They'll get petty, right? They argue with you. When you see a man actively arguing with you, I'm not talking about debate. I'm not talking about we turn on the camera and we're talking with my wife, right? I'm talking about argument as in like any moment we may slap each other and we're cursing at each other, calling each other names, right? Why is it that men are like back in the days, a man will not do that with you. At worst, he will grab his key and just go and play games somewhere or something, right?
A normal man.
Well, it's men from a different generation. It's just different, right? I would at some point say that too. Like a man will do that, right? But the truth is that I've seen enough that I know 99.99% of these men are petty. They will play that game with you.
Because I don't know, honestly, I know of them online, but in real life, I really don't know men like that.
You don't know what's going. See, I know, like for example, when we talk about the red pill community, I thought it was just young boys, but there are actually men who are going through sex-like situation, right? And they end up in the red pill because they're looking for ways to understand why a woman would never take responsibility for nothing. It's always their fault, and the system actually works in their favor, right? On an average, of course.
I would tell them to go read the Bible. Because in the Bible it doesn't say hold a woman accountably. It says love your wife, man. It didn't say women to submit to the man.
But these are the conversations, right? But these are the conversations we can
love
have.
your wife. This is the woman you've chosen. Mm-hmm. You are responsible for that.
Okay.
For choosing that type
That's
of woman.
the conversations
so
we're going to have.
To love her.
But I want you to understand that these things are deeply rooted.
That's what I'm saying. It's deeper than.
So if it's deeply rooted, when I tell a man, when I tell a young man, I said, if a man that knows a woman does not argue with a woman, he pushes back.
You're like, what do you mean?
Right?
What do you mean?
What do you mean? What about a simple debate with my woman? He doesn't get it. He's deep. He doesn't understand what I'm talking about until he's in that space and he's tried that and he realizes that, well, she's the natural woman. You can't beat her at the game of not taking what's the word? Accountability. Mm-hmm. She's supposed to be that way because, first of all, anything you give to her, she will multiply. So she does that naturally without thinking it, right? So when you start to talk to her about, oh, you two, you should do this there, she's like, she can't even put it into words why she doesn't understand that you're mad right now, right? She can't put it into words, but she knows that something is off. She doesn't feel loved. She doesn't feel taken care of. She doesn't feel safe and secure, right? So, and then you're arguing in logic, quote unquote, and then you're just going to pretend like feelings are not part of the logic, right? So it's really, it's a
deep.
conversation that we have to keep having until some people really start to like, okay, maybe I missed something there. Okay, I'm saying logic, but then there's a big variable. 90% of the variable is other people's feelings, and learning how to manage that, starting with managing my feelings, like all of that.
We need more mentorship for men,
right?
By the way.
So it's not like in the meanwhile, before we punish these kids and then they grow up into become even worse. That's why I push against women a little bit. Like, hey, lady, I understand. I got you. You bring so much to the table already, right? But
it's probably exhausted.
And you're exhausted.
It's not easy.
But let's not throw the family away so quick. Okay, it's very important that you hold on to the family. But let's one little step you can take right now. Engage active counseling, therapy, or coaching. By the way, a YouTube channel can just be that. Just being obsessed with every videos that come out of your favorite YouTube channel that talks about this topic. This topic, if you keep listening to this topic, no matter which one of the topics they are, right? If you keep listening, you get insights. You get insight that you start to process, because you're God in your own right. And you start to process them, and it starts to make sense where the generation is missing a lot. You see what I'm saying? So in my own opinion, if it gets to the extreme that people have to eat and stuff and child have to eat, yes, engage the court. But don't you think for a second that's going to be the work. That's not work.
You still have to do the work.
Yes.
Because you can't be the father and the mother to this child. And for single women out there, single mothers out there, I just want to encourage that. Even if you don't have a father, the child's father in their life, get a father figure for them. Please. It could be your brother, it could be
their uncle,
your dad,
your own uncle,
someone that you know is well rooted properly.
Have them spend time over.
Yeah,
let them see what it looks like.
It's problematic for women to be raising men. Honestly.
Yes.
So I believe that's the problem, and I've always said it that we don't have enough fathers in the home.
The mic is there. It's still
oh Lord Jesus.
Yeah.
I've always been saying that we don't have enough fathers in the home. That's one thing I noticed in the black community in America. I don't know about now. I think it's happening in Nigeria now as we speak.
It's always been happening in Nigeria.
I don't know. I was not exposed to that.
I saw somebody on a true me too, but if you I spent some time in the village. If you spend some time in the village, the same issues in different forms. Right? So if somebody is just going to say, all the mothers should take care of all the children, I'll go to the farm, go look for the money. That created problem too. But at least we know there's some kind of masculine core that they were observing, right? And that was useful to an extent. There's no perfect system, right? There's no such thing as a perfect system where, it's all polygamy, that must work. Oh, no, it's Western world. No, there's no perfect systems. The perfect system, the only thing closest to that is two people that are building a family and they know how to listen to each other. That's the only thing that can be close to it, and that's still not perfect either. But that's closer than what most people have. You see what I'm saying? So I think like somebody came and said, they said there's 2% divorce rate in Nigeria. I'm like,
no, that's not. Women, they don't.
But who's pushing that? It's some of these kids that grew up in America, right? Not like us. They're Nigerian that grew up in America. They are listening to the red pill community, and they've heard that polygamy kind of work. They heard it from their uncle on YouTube.
Yeah, right.
And they're now running around and say there's no divorce in traditional world. That's BS, complete BS. Humans are humans everywhere. How they show up with the problems are different.
I don't know if they had divorces. Like maybe I don't know if it was high in Nigeria, but separation was high. Okay.
Is it 2%?
People separate? I don't know, babe. I don't know.
Huh?
I don't know. I don't know what I don't know.
Well, I'll tell you what I know. I listen to.
I know there's a lot of separation. You can see people that their parents are you think they're together, but they live in separate homes.
Yeah,
they're actually not together.
You're talking about when you're growing up. Are you talking about when you were growing up?
What do you mean? In Nigeria?
Are you talking about when you were growing up in Nigeria?
Yes.
Okay, that's 25, 26, 27 years ago.
That's what I'm speaking on.
Okay, all right, so we got to talk about...
So if someone is telling you there's no divorces, maybe they are coming from that because women are not actually going to the court to file divorces.
They're coming from what I just said, and I'm going to repeat it just so that if they're listening, so they can know, okay? If you grew up in America or in the Western world, stop talking about Nigerian society unless you do your homework. Divorce is happening over there. Most people that are our age mates in this generation in Nigeria are westernized, sometimes more westernized than you are, and they are trying to copy the same nonsense. They watch more Hollywood nonsense than you do, okay? And they are following, and even they're more obsessed with it more than you sometimes. So educate yourself before you run around Clubhouse and run your mouth and all this kind of stuff. And that's the point I was trying to make. Divorce is happening in Nigeria. They have courts.
I don't
they have family
doubt that.
courts, and it's not. And if it's happening, then if it's actually 2%, it's safe in language, right? To say there's no divorce in Nigeria. If it's actually 2%, right? It's if anything you call 2% in Nigeria, it's called negligible. That means we don't worry about that. That's the anomaly. It's normal, but it happens, right? So it's not even normal to even say that. You know what I'm saying? So in addition to everything you just mentioned, which is separation, there's actually divorce going on, and it's around 40 to 50% too in Nigeria. Ask anybody who is educated or people that are talking about this. They have therapists in Nigeria. They have even worse situation in Nigeria.
Wait, did you look up the numbers? Because
if you listen to Lanre Olushola, you will hear it.
Okay, I don't listen to Larry Olushola.
He's a professional out there.
I do once in a while, but I don't follow him like that.
Okay.
But I do also know of people who are going through crisis in their marriage,
right,
but they won't leave the marriage because the society frowns at you. A lot of people are not comfortable just leaving their marriage because of the way people look at them. So I'm thinking maybe that's where the number is coming from.
That's where the assumption comes from.
Okay.
You understand what I'm saying? I see what you're saying. But that's
I
where
didn't look it up,
that's
so I
where
don't know.
so this is the assumption. They say this. They say women just don't leave their people like that in Middle East, in the Middle East, right?
Mm-hmm.
They just don't do that. In India, women don't, if it's arranged marriage, it lasts forever. That's another bullshit. Because that's not true. The arranged marriages are falling apart. It's assumption.
It's not that it's not happening, but the numbers are definitely lower than over here. Maybe that's what the issue is.
No. That's you saying maybe what they're saying is right. What I'm saying is that what they said is flat out wrong. It's assumptions that traditional systems is perfect. It is not. You understand what I'm saying?
We know it's not.
Okay, the people that are saying this, the ones that I listen to that I'm talking about right now, is assumption that traditional systems are perfect and they work well and they help us build family structure that worked well. If we did, we wouldn't be in the chaos that we're in right now. It's like Nigerians saying raising kids, no offense to Nigerians, I'm Nigerian. Is raising kids in Nigeria is better than raising kids in America? Based on what? Is it a better leadership or what do you mean? Right? The result we have is what you can use.
Oh God.
It's the closest thing you can use to determine if something works or not. There's no perfect systems in the world. Democracy, just like in politics, democracy is not perfect. Dictatorship is not perfect, right? But based on everything we know right now, I think most people will pick democracy, right? Doesn't mean it's perfect. We know it's not perfect.
Democracy that works, not the one that doesn't work. Like in Nigeria, that's not democracy.
That's another topic entirely.
Okay, it shouldn't be called democracy, by the way. Sorry.
But I'm talking
Look,
about about American democracy. If you have to pick between American democracy or dictatorship period, right? Some people or communism or some kind of socialist country or something like that, right? Some people will say, "Oh, it worked for people that it worked for." Yes, but the point, anybody that knows anything about life knows that there is no absolutes. There's no perfect anything anywhere. And for you to sit on the outside of traditional system and just your mouth is watering all over it, anybody can just have multiple wives and they're all happy. No, that's stupid.
So
that's just
these
stupid.
red pill people think they can have a bunch of wives
and they're just happy.
And they can handle those wives when they can't even handle one. Well,
you see what I'm saying? So to an extent, granted, it pisses me off when I hear it because I feel like some people don't need to have a big platform. Some people don't need to have a microphone in their hands because they're actually spreading toxic
that narrative
stuff, right?
I would say they should try it. Try it.
That's another point.
Move over and try
for example, this whole thing, if I should marry, if you don't like marriage, don't marry. It's really that simple. So problem solved. But if you're gonna go on the social media and talk all day long like your throat is about to bust on why you don't want marriage, the only thing you're telling me, if you have any wisdom, is that you want marriage secretly. That's the only thing you're telling me.
Because why are you obsessed about talking about
it, right?
Yeah.
But we digress. She made me go from 7 minutes to 1 hour.
Really?
You did.
You're pointing fingers. Are you paying attention? You just pointed a whole bunch of fingers at me.
Yes, I did. This way. I did. Yes, I did. But yeah, you get the gist. I pointed the fingers. But I think I don't know. It's more natural for us to talk for at least an hour. Maybe during this period while
we're talkatives.
we're taking. No, these are very important things to talk about. I disagree with you. I disagree with you.
Well, there's nothing wrong with talking.
I like that you push against me because people really think the perfect thing exists. That's why they fight each other so hard. I like that you push against what I have to say, and I push against a little bit because that's the.
I can relate to these women.
Because that's the reality.
I'm not in their shoes, but I can, I can just imagine how I would be feeling if I was in their shoes.
But that's the reality. But the fact that you have your own viewpoint on things and I have mine is the reality in life. That's why you don't get to say I'm not in a relationship or I'm going to run away from marriage. That's not how life works. Unless you live in a cave. Unless you're going to get off this street and live in a cave. You're going to be in relationships with people. Then you have to learn how to manage relationships, including the one with your baby father, the one that hasn't paid child support, the one that's losing his job, the one that's chasing an empty dream that seems empty to you. By the way, you may end up in an acrimony situation.
Oh my
Just
gosh.
warning. And you'll be mad at the world.
Can we eat while we're chasing these dreams? I'm just saying.
Right? So
can we eat something?
I'm just saying. I'm just saying.
Can we eat? Can we pay the bills?
So that's we're just trying to shed all the different lights and different angles on it, right? Because it's never one way. There's no one way solution. The only thing we can say is all your actions, yes, are gonna be reaction to other people, environmental factors, as I always said, right? And you still have to be responsible for those reactions, because if you don't, then you're a victim. And you can't have being a victim and being powerful in the same sentence. You see what I'm saying? Because it's a game and you have to learn how to play it. And if you don't, somebody else will play it for you, and then you just be mad at the world all the time. The more you go through the court system, the more pissed off you're gonna be. Am I lying? The more people go through the court system, either for alimony, child support, and all this, the more pissed off you're going to be.
I don't know. I can't relate, but yeah, I guess.
Well, you can see it everywhere. You can just read it. Just go to family court, my county, and you will see all the stories there. People build toxic resentments from the systems, both sides. It's not just men or women, both sides. Even after you give the woman all the money, she's still not happy because she's pissed off at your side.
Because it's not about the money.
Really? That's it. We're not going back. We're not going back. No.
It's not just about the money.
All right, that's it. Subscribe to the channel. Spread the word. Please share the videos. Hit the like buttons.
Smash the like.
Go download the book. You want to know her story? The only one place to get our story is to go to getmymarriageback.com and download the book. And we have tons of insights in there. And if you want a free 30 minutes coaching session, please make sure that you have proper internet.
No, I don't even think that's the only issue.
Yeah.
It's like being on time. Like, please respect
our time too.
We give you freedom, be on time.
Yeah.
Don't come 15 minutes or 30 minutes.
I'll be very honest. We're actually very soon removing that. So if you want to take advantage of it, take advantage. We're going to remove the free 30 minutes session and just take people straight into coaching. But thank you regardless. We love you.
Thank you.
We love you. We want you to win at this game called life. And the only way to win at it is to nurture your relationships. Anything else you want to say, babe?
Be a master of this game, okay?
Be a master of this game. Because she is. She's always manipulating me.
Marriage is a game.
She's always
gotta be a master of the game to survive in this game.
All right. Cheers.